All right, ladies and gents, thank you for your patience. We're glad you're here. We're glad to be back. I'm Gage Simojis, Emerson Hip, and this is the Intoxicated Sports Report.
Yes, sir.
It's been a little while, but we are in fact back. It feels like our last episode was a long time ago.
Yeah, I did some research unintentionally and found out that we did basically the same thing last year, where we waited like 3 weeks between like the end of the finals or whatever before our next episode. Yeah.
So it's not too far off.
Yeah,
not too far off.
We're creating trends here.
Okay, I like that. Well, because sometimes when we have those, long periods of time where we don't do this, I'm kind of like, oh man, we finally hitting that point.
Right.
We finally hitting that point,
Yeah.
But we're okay. If this is what we did last year, we probably did the year before, and the year before that, and the year before that.
I mean, we waited for some build-up, for some juice to come out of the sports world, and we got some.
So a lot of the stuff you're going to hear today is a lot of things that happened a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, but we still want to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Needs to get out to the world.
And if you don't like it, sorry. It's just how it is.
We don't really care if you don't like it.
Well, we do. No, we do. We're not going to talk shit about people who listen to us.
Just, work with us.
The 4 people that listen to us. But it's okay. It's okay.
4 years of ISR, it's come and gone. Isn't that crazy to think?
Yeah. It's like...
I guess we say this every year at this time of year.
It doesn't... I don't know. It does feel like it's been a long time, but it kind of doesn't at the same time, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to believe we didn't do this at Rubicon at all.
Right.
Like,
that's kind of where the idea started.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But we obviously started at Dover.
Yeah.
And we're still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of us. I'm proud of us for just still chugging away at this. You know what I mean? Just no matter what.
Going strong.
And it's cool. I could do it for another 4. I don't know.
Right.
We'll see what happens. Maybe we probably won't go another 4, but who knows?
You never know.
You never know.
A few facts about this past year. 37 episodes we did in year 4.
Okay.
We only had 3 official guests. Sal twice and Devin once. So technically 2, but 3 times having official guests. I know we had some people come on. It's Peanut Gallery.
Well, we had Nick. I mean, he wasn't a guest.
Yeah, but he did chime in quite a bit, which I was happy
great.
about. Yeah,
we had Richard Parker last.
Richard Parker
2 weeks ago. That was great too.
G Money, yeah.
I know they weren't quote unquote official guests, but it's always nice getting some new people, new feedback,
absolutely.
new talk. But we thank Sal and Devin for being on, and Devin will probably be on, if possible, for our next episode.
Yeah,
because I know she likes to be our unofficial, official Olympic
correspondent.
Yes, thank you. So if we can make it happen, she'll be on our next episode.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We didn't have Danny on at all.
I know, isn't that weird to think? Like, did he had to have Peanut Gallery once, right?
Maybe. The last time he was on, was that really? We did it at his house, right?
Was that maybe
close to
last postseason of basketball or something like that, like leading up to our
because that doesn't feel like that was over a year ago, but I guess it had to have been, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I can't remember.
It was like him and Slinky.
Slinky.
Yeah, featuring right. Slinky. I mean, that was probably a year ago, but that feels sooner. So, Danny, you probably don't listen to us anymore because you're,
You're working man.
Mr. Big Shot, working man, but we missed you.
Mr. Union.
He actually texted me today.
He texted me as well.
Okay, he probably texted us the same thing.
Yeah.
So, miss that guy.
Yeah.
Miss that guy. But we'll be seeing him in a few weeks regardless.
Yep.
So, hopefully before that, though. Probably before that, because, it's just, it's how we work.
Yep. The major sports champions during the last year, the Las Vegas Aces won the WNBA championship back in October. And then not too long after that, the Texas Rangers. Michigan football won the NCAA championship. The Kansas City Chiefs, boo.
That was easy.
Won the Super Bowl. And then in college basketball, South Carolina women, UConn men were champions. And then most recently, the Boston Celtics and Florida Panthers, which we're going to get into later in the show.
Yes, we are.
Won the NBA and Stanley Cup, respectively.
Your favorite champion out of these?
I'm going to go with... That's a tough one. I want to say the Rangers, but I'm going to go Michigan.
Okay.
Because it's a new... I mean, I know they're a blue blood of college football, but they're kind of re-emerging. So it's a kind of new champion, if you will.
I mean, for me, it's got to be a little obvious. Probably the Chiefs, just because who they beat.
It saved you some heartache.
A little bit, yes. But I do love the Michigan story because, Harbaugh, and he finally got over the hump.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rangers because of Bochy.
Right.
That'd probably be the second one underneath the Chiefs for me, personally. But I think the best champion of all these, it doesn't have to kind of be South Carolina women.
If we're gonna rank them,
Undefeated.
Yeah.
Just
I would say so.
Most
dominant.
Kind of hard to beat an undefeated season.
I mean, Michigan was dominant too. They went undefeated.
Oh yeah. You're right.
I think though that South Carolina overall, I mean, what they did going with 38-0 or whatever it is, probably a little harder to do.
I mean, it's hard to do regardless. So
no doubt.
All these are champions. Sal adopted the Aces, so happy for him.
Yeah, good for you.
Florida Panthers, man, they were they were close.
Yeah, they almost blew it.
Hey, they had it, and then they didn't, and then they did.
We were almost just talking about Connor McDavid.
I wish. That'd make me look real good.
Mm-hmm.
But congrats to all the major champions. We've talked about you at least once throughout the year.
Yep.
So congrats.
Yeah. On to season 5.
The UConn men was pretty good too.
That was a really good team. What did they lose? Like 3 games, I think?
Like that, yeah. Well, it's like, hasn't it only happened a few times in the history of college basketball?
Going back to
men's college basketball? No, that and being undefeated.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like last time it was like Indiana in the 70s.
Yeah, a long, long time ago. But yeah, back to the intro. We are drinking something fun. A little refreshing summer cocktail.
You can tell we're off our game.
Yeah, it's been a while. A little gin, Aperol, lemon cocktail. Let's throw together.
It's good.
Yeah, just need something refreshing on this hot day. Summer's really here now in Napa.
Yeah, every time there's a hot day in Napa, I think to myself like, God, I really feel bad for people in Sacramento.
I know, right?
I just do. I can't help it.
Sucks rough, dude.
I mean, it's a cool city. I mean, I don't mind Sacramento.
It's cool, yeah, but it is swampy out there, man. I shouldn't even say swampy. It's just hot.
Like, what times of the year in Sacramento do you wear jeans? Maybe the winter time?
I guess the winter, yeah.
But, I mean, not right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that would just suck. Like, Arb texted me and he said, because he lives in Folsom.
Oh, it's, yeah. So
and it's the same shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, he sent me a screenshot of the next, 10 days, and it's going to be 112, 110, 112, 112.
No thanks.
It's like, dude.
That's how remember that September we had 2 years ago? That was 110 every day.
Yeah, it
was rough. But yeah, summer's here. We had a nice little pool day the other day.
The whole day was good.
Yeah,
and I wasn't. I was moving slow yesterday for sure.
Yeah.
I worked.
I guess I was only 2 days ago. Huh?
I worked a little overtime at work, which is rare. Of course, I picked I picked the day to get shitty the day before and work at some overtime, but it was all good. But it was great. It was a great day. Thanks to Dev for letting us go to Scott's. Well, thank Scott for having us over, even though he was
not there,
out of town. But I think he knew we were there.
I don't think I've ever met Scott, but I've been in his pool a few times.
Really nice guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. But yeah, just when you first walked up and you said summer's officially here, that's what it kind of felt like. I need a couple more of those. Give me 2, maybe 3.
Mm-hmm.
Getting greedy, maybe 3, but
yeah.
Just nothing like a good pool day.
I need some summer lawn activities ASAP too.
Yeah,
I was just a park day.
I was just gonna text the clams group and say how we've
been lagging on
desperately need a park day.
We've been talking about it for a couple months now.
I know, we need to get at least one of those.
Yeah, we got to do another home run derby. That needs to come back.
Yeah,
and then maybe figure out another activity or two to add to the portfolio.
People were saying kickball.
Kickball could be fun
with a red rubber ball.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Get the juices flowing.
You need a good amount of people to do that.
Yeah, you probably need
20.
At least. I'm gonna say at least 8 minimum, but probably 10 to 12. Because you don't have to have 9 versus 9,
But I mean, okay, I see. You don't want to try to do the same as a baseball field does.
No, I mean we probably wouldn't have to have the field size be that large.
You probably don't need a catcher.
No, you just find a backstop.
Oh yeah, because you're
and have
if the ball's rolling slow to you, it's you're gonna you're gonna hit it.
Exactly.
Unless it's really off path.
Yeah, honestly, you don't even need a backstop now that you say it.
No. But I agree. I think we need to do that. A couple things on the agenda.
Yeah.
Figure it out, and we will.
Yep. Let's jump into some Giants talk real quick. You ready?
Yeah.
First news is sad news. I'll take over this time.
Thank you. I was going to say, am I doing the bad news all the time now? I can.
I need actually a beverage for this. Let's just back up one of these while we're here. So, over the last couple of weeks, we've seen Willie Mays pass away and Orlando Cepeda pass away, both Giants legends. So cheers to them first and foremost. Both Giants legends. Willie Mays was 93 when he passed away. Orlando Cepeda 86. Mays played 21 years with the Giants.
Yeah.
Out of his 23, Orlando Cepeda played the first 9 years of his career with the Giants. Both Hall of Famers.
Oh yeah.
Mays 24-time All-Star, which is crazy to say.
Because he used to play 2 All-Star games.
Yeah, both these guys kind of benefited from that, but not to take away from their accolades.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, they played at a time the way they did. You can't take it away from them.
Exactly. Willie, 1951 National League Rookie of the Year, 2-time MVP, 12-time Gold Glover, and World Series champion with the New York Giants back in 1954. Orlando Cepeda, 11-time All-Star, 1958 National League Rookie of the Year with the Giants, and 1967 MVP with the Cardinals, and they won the World Series that year as well. So they both were peaked at the highest levels of baseball. Absolute legends, and they both lived good long lives. So
absolutely,
it's just hard to see them both leave us in such a short amount of time.
Like a week and a half apart from each other.
Right. And the Mays one is crazy too, because the last episode we were talking about how the Giants were going to Alabama and Rickwood Field to celebrate, Negro League baseball, which is where Willie Mays played his Negro League baseball, like his home games. Yeah. And 2 days or 3 days before, I believe it was, he passed away. He wasn't gonna be there because of health issues to begin with, but it's still crazy. And
it almost, would poetic be the right kind of word? How he died before it happened. I mean, obviously we would love for him to be there. I'm sure he would have loved to have been there too. But the fact that how it happened, like he passed away right before that game in specific.
Right. Yeah.
It just kind of seems like baseball goddish. You know what I mean?
Right. For sure. It would have been nice for him to be able to,
of course,
at least witness it on TV or whatever. But it's crazy. And of course, we went to the Giants game that following Monday, the first home game,
which was our 4-year anniversary for ISR.
Yeah,
so we did something a little, because we've done things in the past that are like a party.
Yeah.
But this time we went to a game, and it was a great time.
It was a very good time.
We sat about right here on the
right there.
Right there. We sat at Levi's Landing for those who can't see us pointing at it.
If you want to go back and watch the highlights of the game, watch Elliot Ramos' double. You might be able to see us.
Yeah.
The ball got relatively close.
Yeah. But that was a great time. I'm glad that we ended up doing it because, Dev and I wanted to go because as soon as he died, which also he died on 6/18/24, and 6 plus 18 is 24, so that's kind of little, kind of like baseball, just otherworldly type thing, you know what I mean?
No doubt.
And also a game that we went to was on the 24th of
June, that's right.
And that was the first home game back after he passed away.
Right.
And it was kind of, you made the good point of, obviously, Willie Mays retired from baseball like 25 years before we were born.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, we don't really have a super strong connection like we would, with a Barry Bonds or a Buster Posey or a Madison Bumgarner.
Right.
But still, it's like when someone he's literally, to me, he was a living legend.
Yeah.
He was just, the upper echelon, someone you would see on possibly a Mount Rushmore of baseball greats.
There are a lot of people that would argue he's the greatest baseball player of all time.
And the only thing I'm going to say about Willie Mays is the only thing I really can say is because it's the only thing I can connect myself with him is when we went to, on a whim, go to the Barry Bonds jersey number retirement.
Oh, yeah.
And Willie Mays spoke for probably 15, 20 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, he definitely put in some good words.
But the one thing I noticed is what everybody did was when Willie, in specific, because a lot of people talked during that ceremony, but when Willie was talking, everybody was standing up the entire time.
Yeah.
And it just kind of shows the respect and how people just think of this man, of how they do. He's just larger than life, and he lived. Yes, he played baseball at a very, he probably didn't love playing baseball at that time because of how things were. Civil rights.
I feel like he was probably one of those guys that was mentally strong enough to just not even think about it, and I'm just here to have a good time.
But it was kind of tough. Kind of what Reggie Jackson said. Did you see that interview?
Yeah, I did see a little bit of it.
That was heavy.
Yeah.
He dropped N-bombs on Fox. You know what I mean? Because he was saying how it was hard for him to go back to Rickwood.
Right.
But going back to Willie, I just felt like I really wanted to be there because I knew it was gonna be something special. And I knew the Giants. I know the Giants are really good at this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they had a really beautiful opening ceremony, or like a little, let's say a ceremony for them, right?
Yeah. I'm glad it was. Well, here's two things. I'm glad it was short and sweet, but I also felt like I was I guess a little surprised that more people didn't speak. Like I thought maybe they would hand the mic to Barry Bonds. Maybe they would, if there was another legend in the crowd or whatever, that they would bring him out. But they did have, like, John Miller had the thing that was already, I think, pre-recorded.
They put on the big screen.
They put on the big screen. Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, Dave, Fleming, Krug and Kuiper, they're talking about him.
Yeah.
All the Giants players wore number 24, which was really cool.
Very cool.
They had 24 kind of like etched in the grass in center field.
The Mo job, yeah. That was nice.
It was just really nice. And of course, the Giants, they won.
Pulled off a miracle in the ninth inning.
yeah, exactly. It was a walk-off walk, which is kind of dramatic, kind of not.
Yeah.
It's a weird way to win a game.
But it was one of those games that had no juice. I mean, I guess when they hit those home runs, that was a little energy, but it never felt like they were going to win that game.
Well, what was funny about the home runs that they hit was, I don't think we were in our seat. I think we were walking around each time it happened.
Yeah.
But the Giants were down 4-0. It seemed like forever.
Yeah.
And I remember you and I were talking when we were leaving the game, and I was like, dude, it didn't even feel like the Giants won that game.
No,
because it was just, like you said, there was no juice. They were down what seemed to be the entire game.
Yeah.
And they just pulled one out. It just kind of felt like it was for Willie, and they were in a 5-game losing streak before that, so it just kind of felt like it all came together at the right time.
Yeah.
It was just, that was my first Giants game I've been to since, I think, was it last year when we went to the first home game? Or was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think last year. 2020.
So it was a long time for me, and, thank you for driving.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Your AC wasn't working, but it was okay.
That was kind of rough.
But it was fine. It was fine. It was a great time.
I think my last thing on Willie is that I think the coolest thing about him for us is that it's really awesome knowing that one of the best, if not the best players of all time, played for our favorite team.
Yeah.
I think that's, even though we never saw him, like we already talked about, he was retired well before we were born. He's still an icon that played for our team and represented it very well.
And remember when we went to that cantina across the street and we walked past that guy who was getting videoed getting recorded? They were having an interview. That was Willie Mays' son.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
So I saw him throw the first pitch out for the Mets, because Willie Mays did play for the Mets as well.
Right.
And I saw him pitch, and I was like, that guy looks really familiar. And I put it together. I was like, oh, wait, that was the guy that we saw getting interviewed by some guy walking down the street. And so I thought it was kind of cool, too.
That's cool.
Because obviously he was there. Like, Barry Bonds was there, too. Yeah. There was a bunch of people that were standing there, like, with his a jersey on.
Right.
None of them talked, but I think they all introduced them. They all kind of gave, like, a wave and all that. So
yeah.
I don't think the Giants really wanted to make it that long. Because they were going to have a celebration of life they're going to do.
Did it already happen, or is it coming soon? I can't remember what the date
I want to say it hasn't happened yet, but it's going to be
maybe
sometime
soon.
Yeah.
When everyone's back in town.
And like that for me, like I don't need to go to that. Like I really wanted to go to the game after.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And they had a cool thing for him. I think the day of the Rickwood game is Oracle Park opened their doors and let people
watch the game.
Go in there and watch the game. I saw pictures of people sitting in center field,
that was pretty cool.
Sitting down and watching the game.
Yeah.
Really cool. The Giants are really good at that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy stuff. And, rest in peace to both those legends.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Orlando Cepeda, I guess I didn't realize that he didn't play for the Giants for his whole career.
Yeah. Still got his number retired by the team.
And he has a statue outside the stadium, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so. He was a stud, too, no doubt. Of course, we're watching the Dodgers while talking about the Giants. But the Giants did win today. A nice win against the Atlanta Braves.
They did. Hey, Atlanta Braves are a good team.
They are a good team. They're missing some obviously some very good players, but
hey, you take the win for what it is.
Take the W. You can get it. Yeah. They did go 5-2 on their most recent homestand, which is nice. Beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3. Could have won all 3 of those games.
That game in between was fucked.
It was fucked.
7-7 going to extras, and they lose 14-7. Like God.
And they were up 5-2, then down 6-5, then up 7-6, and just. Duvall blew the save. It wasn't really all his fault.
I don't care who you are. I don't expect anybody to sweep the Dodgers.
No.
It's a tough.
It's not a thing that happens.
It's a tough task.
I'd like to know how many times it's happened, if at all, this season.
I would like to know that too.
But Giants coming into today were 41-44. They're now 42-44. I believe they are still fourth in the National League West. They entered today 3 games back at the final National League wildcard spot. Mm-hmm. July is going to be a huge month for the Giants. They just gotta hang around.
Even keel.
They gotta stay. I mean, they're going to get some pitching back soon. I think Kyle Harrison's going to be the first one back.
Yeah.
Then hopefully Snell soon after, and Robbie Ray will eventually make his Giants debut, as well as Alex Cobb making his season debut at some point.
Yeah. How about Blake? How about where's Blake Snell at?
Help is on the way. He should be after Kyle Harrison, hopefully.
Yeah.
He actually made a rehab start just the other day.
Okay, so. What do we got here, man?
We got all kinds of stuff. I think they are all actually IPAs except for that one, which
Tropical
I would like
wheat?
to share that one if you eventually would like to try it.
Yeah. You don't want to share all these?
I mean, we could share all of them actually. Yeah. That one I want to try too. Cool Kids IPA from.
Okay, so I want to try this one too, but you're just cracked one open, which is fine.
Yeah. So we could maybe save that one for later.
What the hell is this? Man, with tall can, tall boy IPA.
Give me a little bit, and then you drink the rest of it. How about that?
This?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I haven't tried any of this.
So
what is that one from?
Cali Craft.
Oh, that's also Cali Craft. Okay.
Cali Craft Brewing Company. I've never heard of them.
They are. Where are they from? I just had this guy drop a bunch of samples off to me the other day. They
probably should say on there.
I want to say they're like Oakland or something, or maybe Walnut Creek.
Oh, okay.
It might say on this one.
Yeah, I can't. Unless I'm not reading it right.
Anyhow. It just says...
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is, Walnut Creek.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
There we go. I saw Idaho, but I was like, I'm not sure.
6-game road trip, like we said, began today in Atlanta. They head to Cleveland next, who's a very good team in the American League so far this season. So I think not one open.
I just clipped my fingernails today.
Yeah. You can do that.
Yeah.
You got any Giants of the month?
Oh, man, I was trying to think one off the top of my head. I'm going to go for Sal. I'm going to go Elliot Ramos.
I don't think there's any other choice.
No.
I do have some numbers I dug up today, but
as you always do.
But Ramos was awesome this month. For him, he hit 304 with a 375 on base, 571 slugging for the month of June, 8 home runs. Also clutch, 346 average with runners in scoring position for the month.
Okay,
that's pretty damn good. Jorge Soler also had a sneaky good month.
Yeah,
I know a lot of Giants fans have not been high on him. He hit a home run today as well.
Yes,
but he hit 284 with a 361 on base percentage and 484 slugging during the month of June. Only 3 home runs, but 10 doubles mixed in there, so he's starting to come around.
Okay,
he could be huge. I mean, the Giants' offense during June was actually good. The pitching is just so battered by injury. They just had a really rough time getting through it.
We gotta just try to get the wild card because the division's not gonna happen.
Oh yeah,
No.
We can't even think about the Dodgers. We just gotta actually, in a weird way, we gotta hope the Dodgers beat up on everybody else in the National League, especially the National League West.
Because the National League, isn't there a lot of teams in the National League who
it's very bunched up.
Very bunched up, yeah. Towards like not the top, like the bottom.
But from the Padres, who I believe are holding the second wild card spot, down to the second to last team in the National League.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of baseball left. It's not even the halfway point yet.
Yeah.
Or not the All-Star game, which
we're technically at the halfway point, but yeah, the All-Star break is coming up in a couple of weeks. We're going to be going to the last game before the All-Star break, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, we are.
July 14th.
Yeah, that's a couple weeks. There we go.
Yeah, coming up quick. I do want to shout out some bullpen guys from the month of June. Taylor Rogers, Ryan Walker, Tyler Rogers, all combined for 38 innings and a 1.64 ERA combined. I mean, they've been asked to do way more than is realistic for a bullpen. Not just these 3 guys, but the whole bullpen in general.
Well, don't the Giants have the most bullpen innings pitched this season?
I believe, or maybe second. But this,
they're close to the top.
This past month they led the league in innings pitched out of the bullpen.
Okay.
It was nice to see rookie Hayden Birdsong get his first career win in his second career start.
He's got some nice lettuce.
He does have some lettuce. He looks like a child too.
He does.
He looks like he's straight out of high school.
Him and Kyle Harrison.
Yeah, they both look like children.
It's just, I like to have my face shaved.
Yeah,
but those guys don't look like they have to shave their face.
Yeah,
there's a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
So. It was funny on the radio. They were whenever they'd mention Birdsong, they would play the Surfing Bird.
Oh yeah, Bear.
It's a fantastic song.
It is. Good stuff though. Giants, they're hanging around.
You have to.
We've kept our expectations low, and they're right where we probably thought they were.
Just as long as they win on July 14th, and then they win when Dev and I go see them play the A's in the Coliseum.
Oh yeah, you guys.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna go to the Coliseum.
That's
it's
cool.
shitty.
I think it's cool.
I think it's not until
it's like August, right?
September.
Was it September?
Well, 'cause I think they play in August, but I think it might be in San Francisco first.
Oh, okay.
And then they go. I think I looked and it was whatever. It's more bad. But yeah, because I want to go to the Coliseum one last time.
You should go. I mean, I don't need to go because I went just a few years ago, and it just.
Well, yeah, I'm not expecting the Ritz Carlton.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But like I've said before, I think I went when I was super young. Because I remember vaguely being in the stadium, and it just looked like it was a mile away from me.
Right.
Like home plate.
You got to imagine it's going to be pretty packed for that series.
I bet you it will.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. This beer is good.
Oh,
I like this.
It's interesting. It's hazy or no? The guy was telling me about this one specifically, how it's kind of unique.
Just says Westside IPA.
Westside. That's pretty hoppy.
Citra.
Yep.
Double dry hop Citra.
That's why no, it's wet hop. That makes it really hoppy. Never mind.
I like it. It's good.
Yeah, it's good. All right, moving on to the Stanley Cup final. The Florida Panthers, 2024 champions.
Sorry, Garrett.
Sorry, yeah, Florida.
Actually, no, he wanted this.
He wanted this.
Like he doesn't like.
He didn't want either.
But he doesn't like Florida teams.
No,
especially
in hockey.
In hockey, even though he roots for the San Jose Sharks, who definitely don't have snow anywhere near them.
Yeah,
closest snow is what, Tahoe?
Right.
Maybe the Santa Cruz Mountains.
Santa Cruz Mountains.
Maybe the Santa Cruz Mountains a little bit.
That's pushing it.
Yeah.
But anyways, when we were with Garrett for the last episode,
we
thought the series was over.
He was doing victory laps.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, it was 3-0 during that episode. Felt like the Oilers had nothing for him.
3-0, almost always in any sporting series out of 7, is the kiss of death.
Yeah.
Because especially in basketball, because we all know it's never happened.
Yeah.
Hockey, it has happened a few times, but I don't think it happened in the Stanley Cup since
it was like 1970 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even before that.
Maybe even longer. Yeah. Or no, like 1940.
I thought it was 20 or 40. Yeah, it's like a long time ago.
Yeah, something ridiculous. Anyways,
so it's like it can happen, but given the circumstances that the Oilers were in, given the fact no one's done it in a really long time, it just didn't look good.
Yeah, but hey, they got it back to Game 7.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and they were dominant in those 3 games. I mean, 8-1 in Game 4, 5-3 in Game 5, and then 5-1 in Game 6 to push it to Game 7.
Yeah.
Back in Florida. But the Panthers were able to escape with a 2-1 Game 7 victory.
And we were at the Giants game we were talking about earlier during this Game 7.
We were,
so
yes.
we weren't
totally locked in.
We couldn't be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was other things on the agenda, which is fine. But, congrats to the Panthers. I really wanted it for not because I picked the Oilers to win, which would have been nice.
Yeah.
But I really wanted it for McDavid because it's so hard to, I feel like, win the Stanley Cup. I feel like we always say it's one of the hardest championships to win.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it was such a, like, he could have just grabbed it. And
it was a prime opportunity for,
added to his legacy.
You're right. Prime opportunity for, a legendary player already. He's not even 30 yet.
And then,
to do something insane.
And especially if he would have came down or came up from 3-0 down.
That would have been just...
That would have been, that would have...
Yeah. Just put a cherry on top.
Yeah.
So yeah, a bummer for McDavid. He did win the Conn Smythe, which is
losing effort,
yeah, which is not a common feat. But he put together a hell of a postseason. 8 goals and 34 assists for a total of 42 points in 25 games, which is the 4th highest point total in a postseason of all time. Most since Mario Lemieux did it back in 1991 when he had 44.
Jeez.
So I mean, this guy, he's a beast. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
Him and Draisaitl are a force together. But they've never had the depth. This was the closest thing, obviously, that they've ever had to a championship caliber team. But they're going to...
But is the future still bright for them?
They're going to keep running it back. I mean, McDavid's in his prime, obviously, so they're
How old is McDavid?
I want to say he's 28.
God
Yeah.
damn. Well, dude, he's got another 6 years probably.
Oh, I mean, he's a hockey player. Joe Thornton retired when he was like 42.
But I mean, like, to be, like, in a prime.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's realistic for Connor McDavid?
I mean, Sidney Crosby's still playing at a very high level at age 37, I think he's going to be this coming year.
When do you think his prime ended, though?
I mean, I guess his prime was probably like 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You could say it was like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But also...
But yeah, anyway, still a very effective player.
Yeah. I want to give it to the Florida Panthers because coming back from losing the Stanley Cup has got to be very tough to do, and they did it, so I got to give them credit for that.
Yeah.
You know, they lost last year, they came back and won, and they almost lost back-to-back, which would have been heartbreaking for Florida Panther fans.
Yeah.
Like losing, what, they lost in 5 to the last year or 6 to the Golden Knights? Something like that. It wasn't 7.
Did they lose to Vegas last year?
Yeah.
Okay,
Right?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Was it in the conference finals or was it in the second round? Oh, no, you're talking about Florida. I'm sorry.
Florida, yes.
I had a total
Yeah.
brain fart. I thought you were talking about
Yeah.
Edmonton. Yeah. Yeah, that series wasn't that close. Vegas kind of owned them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I couldn't, you're losing 5, which is like, gentleman's sweep, but which people like to say.
Right.
And then you come back this year, go to the Stanley Cup, you're up 3-0 in the series, and you're like, oh, we got it.
You're right.
And then you were to lose the next 4. That would have been just the most heartbreaking thing you can go through as a fan.
Right.
But they didn't. They won, so I'm going to give them my congrats.
Yeah.
I'll give them a cheers.
I mean, they were, I think, the more complete team, even though they made it difficult on themselves in the entirety of the series. But they had the toughness, the physicality, and enough skill to compete with a team like Edmonton.
Yeah. Our preseason predictions. I had Oilers over the Devils. Obviously, Devils weren't in it.
Yeah.
The Oilers got close. And you also had the Oilers over the Maple Leafs.
For some reason, I thought that I maybe had that the other way around, like Maple Leafs beating the Oilers. But yeah, we were both on the McDavid bandwagon coming into the season.
And, if you listen to this podcast a lot, you know that we tend to pick the same champion.
Right. I honestly didn't have a ton of faith in the Oilers getting to the final. But I just wanted to do it for...
Yeah. Well...
In a rooting sense, yeah.
Well, and for me, I'm not going to act like a huge NHL buff because I'm not.
Yeah.
And was part of this because I want to see McDavid win, and I think he's an animal. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and also I would look at the odds for like the,
for sure.
You look at the odds and see what you think. And
surprisingly, the Devils, they were really good last year, but they didn't even make the playoffs this year. Yeah. It's kind of weird. Yeah, hockey's in the books. Another exciting season.
Yeah. It's. I know we're going to talk about it later on, but Sharks, come on.
Hey, they're coming, baby.
They're coming.
I'm saying 3 years they'll be in the playoffs.
They're apparently better than the Warriors now.
That was good.
You said that.
Well, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it
Okay.
I didn't say that exactly. I didn't say that exactly.
Okay, not verbatim. No, I didn't quote you, but
I will reassess that quote later in the show.
Okay, thank you. Okay, on to the NBA Finals. The year 2024 NBA champions are the Boston Celtics. Do they deserve a bell?
Sure.
Whatever. But like I said in the last episode, this is only their second championship since 1986.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being real, the Celtics haven't been like a force
like they were in the 60s.
in our lifetime.
No, they haven't. So, yeah, they got the 18th banner, and it's annoying, and they're like Yankee fans, like, count the rings.
Too bad you won all your fucking championships before anyone cared.
Yeah, exactly. They won, and I kind of put them in a way how the Panthers were. They lost a couple years ago, the Celtics did, and they came back and won the championship.
Yeah.
People
had some heartbreak, but they finally
broke through.
Yeah.
Games 4 through 5. Game 4, Mavericks actually won, which it wasn't looking good for the Mavericks.
No, like they were just, even though they kind of hung around in a couple of those games, they were clearly being outplayed.
Mavs won Game 4, 122-88. Game 5, the Celtics, of course, won 106-88 in the clinching game.
Yep.
Tatum scores 31 in the series clinching game. But Finals MVP is Jaylen Brown because he averaged 25 and 5 on about 45% shooting in the series.
Yeah. Tatum's number, like his totals numbers, were better than Brown's over the series, but I think the fact that shots below 40% for the series, and Jaylen Brown really won the MVP in those first 3 games. And Tatum did not have his best games, leading up to the final 2.
And I think, and Jaylen Brown seems like he's more of the dog, quote unquote, like the kids like to say. But I mean, which I think works because Jaylen Brown is a really good player.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool that he kind of knows when to say, or seems to know when to like let Jaylen Brown do his thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they work so well because you can tell them winning is more important than anything else.
Right.
On top because they don't need their Of course, I think they want the stats and this and that. And they
Yeah,
want to get paid eventually and all that. But I think they work really well because they know if one guy's getting hot, let him feed him. You know what I mean? Like, just let him cook.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I don't think either of us picked Jaylen Brown to be the Finals MVP.
No.
I think I picked.
I don't know if did we actually make that prediction or not. I can't remember.
I think we did, but
I guess we more went like who could win it. That's not either of those guys.
I mean, well, first of all, I picked the Mavericks in 7 because
I kind of
had to.
You were forced to.
But I said I thought the Celtics would win.
Right.
I think I picked Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
To win just because it seemed like kind of the easy cop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Luka Doncic in the series, 29, 8-5, 47% from the field. Of course, in a losing effort. I think this is going to be a good learning experience for Luka Doncic. And I hope... I texted you and Sal about it. It wouldn't surprise me if this is the only time the Mavericks make the finals in this
I wouldn't be shocked
era.
I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit, but they'll have a good chance again.
Yeah.
But to go back. But yeah, the thing is, I guess the question for you is like, it could be a combination of these two things. But do you think the Mavs? It's more about the Mavs needing more, or Luka needing to do more for the Mavs? And if they're ever going to get it done.
That's a good question. I think for any kind of championship team, I think you need to have really good chemistry.
Yeah.
And to play well at the right time. Because obviously they had good chemistry all the way up into this series.
Right.
Kyrie Irving was just an absolute no-show, it seemed. And I felt bad for him a little bit, because I was talking him up before this series. You know what I mean? I was talking like future Hall of Famer, top 75, like which he is and should have been, respectfully. But I think Luka needs to do more. And I think what he needs to do more is in the off season.
Yeah.
I think he needs to just. It's easy for me to say because I'm sitting in a chair drinking a beer. I think he needs to get into better basketball shape.
Hey, come on, Windhorse, shut up.
Yeah, right. I just think he needs to, and I don't even really think he looks that doughy. I think he kind of has like a big face naturally.
I think because he's still only 25. He's probably got a little bit of that.
I just think he might. I think it would bode well for him if he were to like maybe talk to LeBron or link up with LeBron in the offseason. Because this kind of is like what happened to LeBron in the first 2 finals losses. He just kind of like didn't really... I think he even admitted he didn't really know how to win.
Right.
And then he eventually did.
I mean, that's Michael Jordan, too. I mean, Michael Jordan, they showed in those like documentaries we've probably watched a million times where the Pistons forced him to toughen up. Yeah.
Well, it isn't so funny with Michael Jordan because now like Luka Doncic... He can never be in the Jordan discussion because he's already lost a finals.
Yeah, it's tough.
And like, how lucky is Michael Jordan in a way that he didn't get through past one of those Pistons or Celtic teams
and get blown out
by somebody in the finals? Like, that could have easily happened.
Yeah.
But he ran into like an all-time Celtics team and a damn good Pistons team.
Right.
Because it kind of feels like Luka broke through at the right time, but then just ran into a buzzsaw, which is the Boston Celtics, and that is just humbled them. But I just think Luka needs to work on his game more in the offseason. Like, just he needs to be better at his craft.
Yeah.
And he's a great basketball player.
I think offensively, I'm not worried about him one bit. But on the defensive end, he needs to learn that a little more effort is necessary. Mm-hmm. It's not like he does need. I think getting in shape will help that, but you can't just dog it on defense like he does frequently.
Well, and I'll say this: I don't think if Luka Doncic was Draymond Green defensively in this series that the Mavericks would have won still.
No.
I just think the Boston Celtics were overall a much better team than the Mavericks, and I guess I'm kind of going against what I just said, but I think the Mavericks do need to bulk up their team a little bit in a way as well.
Yeah. I think going in, regardless of what actually happened, you could tell talent-wise, athletically, the Celtics were far better team.
Because
because
they've been doing this for years
and
now.
also more experience. Yeah.
Exactly. So okay, I'm gonna switch my answer.
Yeah.
I think the Mavericks have to be a better team.
That's why we talk about these
Yes,
things.
I think they have to be a better team.
Yeah, they do.
Which we're gonna get to a little bit later. And they had a pretty big piece, who might be a little past his prime, but I think it will help.
Yeah.
But it's because this kind of happened to Dirk in a way too. 06, they were actually up in the series against the Heat, and then Dwayne Wade shot 1 billion free throws in a couple games, and the Miami Heat ended up winning the series. And then it took about 5 years for them to go back to the finals and actually win it,
Right.
against what a lot of people would say a far superior team.
Right.
But they still won, and Luka can go back.
He could. I
just think the West, it's gonna be tough in the West.
Do you think it's better than 50-50 that he goes back? Because like you just said it, like the West is tough, and it doesn't seem to be going in a different direction than getting any easier.
I'll give him like a 35% chance to go back to the finals.
Yeah, I would agree that it's not. I would not. If I had to bet on it, I would say no, like them getting back. But
Yeah.
you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Future's impossible to predict.
And he could go back with another team.
Fair. Yeah, fair point.
But I guess I will say I'll give him a 35% chance to go back with the Mavericks.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think the Mavericks are ever going to let him go.
Right.
Which is not ultimately up to them because there's free agency eventually.
Right.
But we'll see.
I also wonder if it's not about star power, because Kyrie Irving was great up until the finals.
Yeah.
They just I think they lacked the depth, because the Celtics had 6 dudes. Out of, if you took the 8 best players in that series, the Celtics had 6 of them. I think.
Yeah.
So it was
Because the only 2 guys that you'd pick from the Mavericks
would be Kyrie and Luka.
Yeah.
We should just recap our predictions real quick from the NBA season and the postseason. I did beat you 14-11 in our playoff
I was stuck in a tough place.
predictions. You were.
Did you pick the Celtics in 6 in the finals?
I picked them in 5.
So you got
I got the double. Yeah.
There you go. Good for you.
Yeah. Overall, going back to our preseason predictions, we both had the Nuggets winning it again, right?
I think I had them over the Celtics and you had them over the Bucks.
Correct. Yeah. But yeah, I think it was.
Which Celtics Nuggets would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But
I know
those are that's probably the favorites for next year.
Yeah. We'll see though. I mean, lots going on in free agency that we're going to get into here in a minute. Nice bomb. Go D-backs. Tie game.
Diamondbacks tied up.
Although, like I just said, we shouldn't necessarily be rooting
right
for the Diamondbacks. As much as I love to see the Dodgers lose.
What do you think of these black uniforms?
They're actually probably the best one the Diamondbacks have.
Yeah, they're not bad.
Because, I don't that teal is a little... That's not even teal, that's turquoise. Don't love the turquoise. They need to go back to the purple with the teal, not the turquoise.
They need to wear the 2001.
Yeah, that's the ones I'm talking about.
With
the cutoff sleeves.
Cutoff
Those were sick.
Dude, those were so tough. Like the pinstripe. When they pinstripes? Like the white pinstripes?
I believe so,
the
yeah.
Sleeves? Yeah, those were...
The Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling.
Didn't the Rockies wear sleeveless with the shirts underneath?
Yeah, there's been a handful of teams that did it. I know the Pirates did it at one point. But yeah.
The only thing is, how do you sell that jersey in the store? You just sell a regular baseball jersey?
Yeah, I guess you really don't, right?
Or do they have the shirt stitched into the jersey on the inside?
That'd be funny. I wonder if they ever did. That's a good question. Sell the sleeveless jersey.
Because that would just be insanely douchey to wear to a baseball game.
Well, we'd have to wear another shirt.
Some guys wouldn't. Probably. the gun show would be there.
You're 1,000% correct.
You walk into the stadium, the guy'd be like, "Sir, you can't bring guns in here. I'm sorry, you just can't." You know what I'm saying? Especially back in 2002 when the guys had the tribal tats and the barbed wire.
You got to stop.
They probably sold them regular baseball jerseys. You have to.
Yeah, well, all those teams probably had a sleeve jersey also.
Mm-hmm.
That was just one they mixed in.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Maybe they did it because they wanted to cool off a little bit. It's hot in Arizona.
Right. All right, let's move over to some off-season NBA news, starting with the NBA draft.
Okay. Which did any I think the day before I was like, oh wait, the draft is tomorrow.
Dude, why was it on a fucking Wednesday?
I don't know.
This is pardon my French. And speaking of French,
that was like a Lars Ulrich
fucking disrespectful. Fucking knapsack.
Oh, dude. Well, just like there was just, especially after last year with the Wemby thing, like
right, it was a bigger deal.
Everyone knew where he was going,
right?
But it was still like you had to see it,
yeah.
And it was just like cinema, you know what I mean? Because it was Wemby, you know. Mm-hmm. But there was just like I'm not even going to attempt the name. Do you know the name? Do you know this name?
Yes, the Hawks drafted Zachary Risache with number 1 overall pick.
Good for you.
And then Alex Sarr went number 2 to the Wizards.
Which,
speaking of French, these guys are both French.
Which I want to say Alex Sarr was the.
I think he was the betting favorite to go number
1.
Yeah,
that wasn't the case.
I was a little surprised. I did see some of his highlights. He looks kind of interesting. He's got some athleticism for a big guy.
Yeah.
Kind of like I maybe said this last week or last episode. He's like poor man's Wemby.
Okay.
As far as skill set.
Yeah, France, French connection.
Mm-hmm. Dude, France has a lot of good young talent.
Yeah.
And current good talent. You know?
Hey. Was the pardon my French, was that
it was accidental.
Okay, I thought okay.
Yeah.
Zach Edey, surprising to me, actually got drafted 9th overall.
I do not think he was that high on most people's draft.
No, I thought he was going to be like a second round guy.
Interesting, though. Well, one thing that's funny, so the UConn center, Donovan Clingan, he went number 7. I forget who drafted him, but obviously they faced off against each other in the national championship game. And Edey, I'm not going to go out of my way to say he owned him, but he put like 30 whatever on him, you know.
It's going to be really interesting to see how his game adjusts to, or like how
it translates,
translates over to the NBA level.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be interesting to see as well. I think with this draft, since a lot of scouts have called it a weaker draft, I kind of like the Grizzlies taking a swing at a unique prospect, rather than like, trying to find the best player available. Because hey, maybe he is the best player when it's all said and done, and we just don't know it yet.
Or the best player they could have got at that time.
Anyways,
I mean,
so I like the swing that they're taking.
I can see a lot of Ja to Edey,
oops,
pick and roll oops, for sure. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Happy for him. I mean, I didn't think he'd get drafted that high.
Me neither. He could be a total project, but they'll find out in training camp, I'm sure.
My Sacramento Kings drafted Providence guard Devin Carter at 13. I'm not going to act like I know anything about this guy because I don't.
I read about him a little bit today, just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know the Kings love to get guards.
Yeah.
So
he seems like he's kind of the Davion Mitchell replacement. Like he's a guy with a defensive-minded guard, and I
think he can score a little better.
Yeah, and his last year with Providence, he kind of took on more of a scoring role, and he was pretty good in that.
Which sucks because Davion Mitchell, I liked him. He was cool.
Yeah.
But
and they traded him just a few days ago, right?
Yeah, they did. Which it happens.
Yeah,
he did what he had to do. He put the clamps on Curry a couple times.
the funny thing with him is like when he was getting a chance when the Kings weren't that great, he seemed like he was a pretty interesting prospect.
Yeah.
And then what's his face? De'Aaron Fox he really took off after that and kind of pushed Mitchell to the side.
Yeah. Your Warriors drafted Boston College center Quentin Post, which we talked about earlier. It's a funny name.
It is a funny
name. At number 52.
Yeah.
Did you read about this guy too?
I heard that he's like a big guy that can shoot it a little bit, but not very athletic. So kind of a project type player. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Guys, the Giants, the Warriors have not had a lot of guys that can space the floor at the big man position. So.
Yeah. And of course, the reason why I think the draft was on for 2 days on ESPN because they knew Bronny James was going to get drafted, and he did. And of course, it was to the Lakers, number 55. What are your thoughts on Bronny getting drafted? Actually, because it was, excuse me, it was kind of talked about that he might get drafted by the Lakers, not as early as they could have drafted him.
Right. I'm not super shocked they did it because of, like I just said, this draft wasn't considered to be terribly strong. But it does kind of feel like a joke because it didn't sound like anyone else would have actually drafted him.
No.
You know, especially the fact that he almost made it through the full 2 rounds without being drafted.
Yeah.
So it seems like it was a favor to LeBron / like, we're going to draft your kid just so that we can hold you hostage, essentially.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't love it. I don't... For Bronny...
you go for it.
For Bronny, it could be good, but it could be like, now I'm just sitting in my dad's shadow, you know? Which I don't love for him. But that's really all I have to say about it.
A lot of, the term nepotism has been thrown out there a lot.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it kind of is. But, hey, I wouldn't have my job right now if it wasn't for my mom. So that's nepotism, you know what I mean? In a way.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you're not less of a person for walking in through a door someone opened for you.
Yeah.
Some people just have better opportunities. It's just how the way the world works most times. More times than not.
Yeah, for sure.
I kind of have a different thought process about this a little bit. I think LeBron wanted this, and I think LeBron, of course, wanted to see his son in the NBA and probably wanted to play with him. Like, that's kind of the whole, grand scheme.
Right.
But I think he kind of wants this for his GOAT debate.
Oh, for sure.
Like to say, Jordan never played this son.
Yeah, I played long enough to play with my son.
Yeah, exactly. So I think a little bit has something to do with it. Just another notch on his thing. In-season tournament champion, played with his son. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I see where you're going with it.
But I mean, it's a cool story, and when we see that LeBron lob to Bronny or vice versa, it's gonna be on SportsCenter
right.
for fucking 5 years
Yeah.
in a row. It'll be like something you see before any montage of NBA basketball. You know what I mean? Also, Bronny's in wearing number 9. What do you think about that?
Fine.
I
got nothing against it.
Is
Six
Rajon Rondo okay with this? It's all it's just what I'm asking.
I'm only guessing it's because it's 6 upside down. Is that a crazy thing to
No, I
assume?
thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Because you can't wear 6 anymore.
Yep.
Obviously, you can't wear 23.
Correct.
9, yeah, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
It's like Tony Romo vibes. But, that's just how my brain works.
Right. I wonder if they're going to sit him on the bench all season long or if he's going to play in the G League.
I'm not sure.
Like, how do they go about it? Not that I really give a fuck, but...
Yeah. People are saying today on social media that he's first time at a press conference ever for a 52nd pick in the draft.
Yeah, I know. Right? When it came on, I was watching NBA today. Is that what they call it?
55th pick, excuse me.
Yeah.
52nd was your boy Quentin Post.
Right. I think it was NBA Today is the show that's on ESPN.
Yeah.
They were talking and then they're like, we're going to cut to Bronny James press conference, whatever.
God.
And I'm like, click, change channel. Like, I do not need to see this.
Oh, shit. Speaking of the Lakers, JJ Redick is hired as the next head coach. Talk about a little bit of nepotism too, maybe a little bit. It just kind of feels like LeBron's playing puppet master.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's like the NSYNC Bye 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 video when they're all puppets.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
I think JJ's smart. I do.
Yeah.
But is he another guy like Steve Nash who sure, yeah, he sees the game from his perspective and he's a very smart person, but he can't actually manage a team,
Yeah.
Because I think that's a big part of it in the NBA. It's not about just drawing up plays and scheming and all that shit. Whoops.
Yeah. But what have we talked about in the past, though? Players who were, kind of mid-level NBA players, and JJ Redick was pretty good.
Yeah.
But, I think what I'm trying to get at is not a lot of superstars were good head coaches.
Right.
So maybe JJ Redick can
be
still be a
superstar.
Still be kind of part of that trend that played, was good, not great, but ended up being a really good head coach.
Yeah.
So
probably the ability to see the game from watching the stars play a little more rather than being the star.
Yeah. And of course, LeBron probably got the okayed this, and they had a podcast together. I don't think they're still doing it anymore now. But they talked. I'm sure they talked the game all the time on that podcast. I never listened to it.
I've only seen clips. Yeah.
So I'm sure LeBron was like, hey, this guy does know his game, his
Right.
ball, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, it's congrats. It's a really nice job to have.
I mean, let's be real. Like, if LeBron and JJ Redick didn't have that podcast, I don't think he would have been a candidate.
Probably not.
I don't even.
No.
I mean, I think he did interview for head coaching positions last year just to go through the process,
Yeah.
but he wasn't considered really by anyone.
Yeah. And let's get it clear. He was their second pick because they wanted.
They did want Dan Hurley,
wanted Dan
apparently. Yeah.
Yeah, and Dan Hurley said no.
You know what's funny is so the JJ Redick news came out before Dan Hurley, right? Mm-hmm. And then I think the Lakers brass, like Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss, were like trying to make a power play and say, "Fuck you, LeBron. This is our team, and we're going to go after Danny Hurley."
Yeah.
And then he said no.
Yeah, right.
And then they're like, "Okay, fine."
Okay, we're going to go JJ.
Yeah. The fucking Lakers are an absolute show. I don't know. I don't know how else to put it.
I mean, I thought the Cowboys were a show, but I mean, this is like
They're right there. They're neck and neck.
Yeah, it's close. But I mean,
I think the only difference is they have like the best player possibly ever, and the Cowboys really don't.
No, no, they don't.
Yeah. Or really never have.
No. So it's all funny in Lakerland. We're gonna see. I mean, right now, how many wins for Lakers next year? Right now,
I mean, wins.
we'll probably do this again, but
They're gonna win games. 45.
45. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go 48.
Yeah. But conference finals, I'm gonna say no.
Probably not.
No. Because that's what matters.
Yeah. The Hawks sending DeJounte Murray to the Pelicans. Murray will join Zion, Brandon Ingram, and CJ McCollum.
That's a pretty good foursome, if you will. Although everyone's talking about Brandon Ingram getting traded, which I don't understand at all. I know there'd probably be a salary cutting.
I mean, if he wants to come to the Kings, that's cool. But,
They have talked about that as a possibility.
Yeah, I heard that.
I think the Kings, if they can, they should absolutely pursue that. But that could be a really, really dynamic group of players.
I mean, the Pelicans were fun. I mean, they whooped the Kings' ass 6 times last year. They could play.
They had some streakiness last year because they got up to a really hot start, then tanked, and then finished the year really strong to sneak into the playoffs.
Yeah. The Nets traded Mikal Bridges to the Knicks for a package including 5 first-round picks. Jeez.
I mean, I like Mikal Bridges, but I don't know if I like him that much.
5 first-round picks.
But being realistic, first-round picks, how much do they mean? Especially if you're intending to win, those picks are going to be, 18 or below.
Yeah. Bridges, of course, will join Brunson, Randall, and Anunoby.
Who got fucking paid.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit of a shock. I wonder if they're going to try and trade Randall. Because,
I feel like they can because they played so well without him last year.
Right. Well, they played well, and then it got to a point where they probably could have used him because he does have the ability to score the ball.
Yeah.
He's not terribly efficient, but and I know you love watching him shoot 3-pointers.
He just maybe shoot 5 a year.
Yeah. Thinks he's DeMarcus Cousins. I'm the third splash, bro.
He thinks he's a Josh Smith.
Josh did, yeah. Duh. He was my favorite player.
Oh my god! Whenever they play the Warriors,
when he was with the Rockets,
or the Hawks,
the Hawks too,
or the Clippers, yeah.
Yeah, but when in the Western Conference, when he was with the Clippers and the Rockets,
I was just they would leave him wide open. I'm like, don't stop shooting
He'd
it.
make one
That's
every 7.
why they're leaving you open. And of course, he would shoot it and brick it, and then it'd probably be a step 3 down the other end. Just, dude. I am so glad those days are over.
That was my favorite era of
basketball. Dude, those days are done. Thank you.
Someone needs to bring Josh Smith back to the NBA.
Just play against the Warriors.
Yeah.
Paul George declined his player option with the Clippers and signed with the 76ers. So a new quote-unquote Big Three, which apparently don't work anymore in the NBA. But it's Embiid,
So
Maxey, and PG-13, which he won't be PG-13 because he cannot wear 13 with the Sixers.
That was Wilt's number?
Yeah.
Yep.
So what is he going to do? Go back to 24?
Probably.
PG-24?
Or just have no number, just be PG.
PG?
Yeah.
Might as well. He should have never, ever...
Change it 13.
I understand it for the brand.
That's so corny, though.
It's like, yeah, you want to be a movie?
So fucking corny.
Hey, you want to be a movie rating? Sure.
Yeah. 24 is a great number. You should go back to that.
Hopefully he does. I don't know if it's retired or someone probably has it, but...
Yeah. I mean, this has the makings, just on paper, has the makings of, the best move of the offseason, obviously. Paul George, certainly the biggest free agent out there. this year. But you think about the fit. Maxey and Embiid have their connection already. PG can play off the ball.
Yeah.
And is a great defender at the wing position. So I think it's a great fit.
You want to try this?
Yeah, I'll have a little bit. But the big question mark, and I'm not sold on it by any means, is are he and Joel going to stay healthy? I'm not ready to buy it.
You got to show me.
Exactly.
You got to show me.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to the Sixers, they're fool's gold.
Right.
I'm not gonna fall in the same trap every time.
And
because yes, you're right. It sounds fantastic on paper. These three.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got to see it. I have to.
100%. And I'll say it's now or never, but really the window is probably 3 years max for this group. Obviously, Maxey just signed a huge extension, so they're all going to be there. Yeah. But Joel's window is closing. Paul George is already 34.
How old is Joel Embiid? He's probably not 30.
I think he's 30.
Is he?
I believe he's 30 or maybe going to be 31 going next year. But it's now. It's got to happen.
He'll be 31 on March 16th.
Of next season. So, yeah. So, I mean, Nick Nurse is a good coach. He's won a championship. They got to go out and get it done. They have to...
They have to make the conference finals in the next, 2 years.
I think it has to happen this year. I'm not even going to bet on that.
Because Embiid, it hasn't happened for him.
Yeah.
He's never made the conference finals.
So what's going to be different,
We know Paul George has.
Yeah.
And he has that ability. I have to see it. I'm sorry. Biggest news, at least in the Bay Area, the Mavericks signed Klay Thompson, a sign and trade. The deal's worth 3 years, $50 million. And the Warriors get 2 second-round picks. It's going to be... I mean, seeing him in another jersey is going to be weird.
It's already weird that this whole thing went down.
And I've already made jokes, but, obviously I used to pray for times like this, the fact that it's actually happening is wow, I feel like I'm growing up, It's just going to be weird. I saw the jokes that's going to be Olajuwon on the Raptors, Patrick Ewing on the Magic. It's like seeing him in the jersey.
Right, it's going to be
different.
Yeah.
But, now that he's not on the Warriors, I hope he wins ring number 5. Go for it. Who cares?
I think the fit is actually, it's right. It's a good move for the Mavericks. Obviously, shooting the 3-ball was a big gap between themselves and the Celtics during the finals.
Yeah.
And we know Klay can shoot 3.
Yeah.
I think the thing that is most shocking is the fact that he's signing for 3 years, $50 million. I thought going into this offseason, in my mind, if the Warriors could have found a way to get him for 3 years and $60 million, that would have been a good deal. Mm-hmm. But it would probably have to be more like 3 for $75, give or take.
Yeah.
And also the fact that last summer the Warriors offered Klay a 2-year, $48 million extension, and he declined. So basically the same contract, but for more money per year. Is a little... I mean, it was a different time. He wanted to go out and prove himself, which, all respect for that. Didn't have his greatest year, but still very effective in the grand scheme. I think it just comes... It's unfortunate, but it came down to the fact that he was a little butthurt, about the way things were going down in Golden State.
Yeah.
He wanted to be a starter. They moved him to the bench. They tried to convince him that was the best thing, and he didn't want to buy into it. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to say it's ego. It's probably more pride than anything for Klay. But it's just weird. You sometimes, and especially in the Bay Area, I say the teams that we root for in the Bay Area have a tendency to keep their veterans around, and they're the guys that have done a lot for their franchises. They stay around, and to see Klay, who I still feel like has a fair amount left to give, he's going to play these 3 years out and be effective for at least 2 of them. Yeah, I feel like.
Yeah.
To see the Warriors let him go is a little weird. It's just non-traditional for Bay Area sports.
Yeah, it's going to be weird.
Yeah,
and it's for when the Warriors were really good at first. I always said that my quote unquote favorite Warrior was Harrison Barnes, which is funny because now he's a king, obviously.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, Klay Thompson was. I never really loved his attitude. It was almost like arrogance.
I think he's just an interesting person.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's intentional. Mm-hmm. He's kind of a weird guy.
Yeah. And I'll give it to him. Like, he feels like he is done enough to get paid, and he has. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. He probably should have been top 75, like all that kind of thing.
Whatever. I mean, he's right there.
Yeah. He's like top 80.
Yeah. Number 77.
Yeah. He'll be in the top 100 probably if there is.
I would think so.
Right? Such a thing.
Yeah.
It's just above anything else. It's just going to be really strange not seeing him, along Steph Curry on the court,
right?
On the same team at least,
for sure.
And I'm sure for you, it's just. I mean, being a Warriors fan. I mean, I just like you said, you think he has a little more to give, and the fact that he's not going to be giving that with the Warriors, has to feel weird. Like it's kind of got to feel surreal to you in a way. Yeah. Like I'm sure you think the window's closed for the championships.
Unless somehow they pull something off in the next 2 years, like with the big acquisition, it's definitely over.
I have to imagine it's like somewhat emotional for you.
Oh, for sure, it's definitely sad. I never wanted to see him play for another team. I hope Steph Curry never plays for another team.
He won't, unless I mean,
he says I'm fed up. Like if the Warriors don't do anything, like why would he just play this out? Like if he wants to look in the mirror and say, I want one more crack at it. Mm-hmm. The way the Warriors are constructed, they are not better today without Klay Thompson. I don't think there's a question.
Yeah.
Obviously, Klay he's a declined player, a declining player, you could argue, but they're not better without him. So I feel like he can't really feel terribly optimistic unless the Warriors have laid out a plan for him or to him, and they're going to go out and make some big splashy trade either during the season or next year. I don't know how he's just satisfied with playing out his career and watching, because this team is not a playoff team in my mind on paper right now. You'd have to see like huge strides made by guys like, I mean, Kuminga would have to be like, I'm going from a 16-point a game guy to like 22 a game. Mm-hmm. Podziemski would have to become a legitimately established starter. Draymond would have to continue to play at a high level on defense. I don't know where they're going. Well, it's a little confusing.
And I think we talked about it last year, the possibility of this happening, or not last year, but however long ago. Mm-hmm. And I kind of thought the Warriors were going to keep him or try to keep him because they want to put butts in the seats. And we said if we lose Klay Thompson, it's like your mom.
We were talking about the trade deadline.
Yeah. I mean, like your mom, for instance. Your mom loves Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
I'm sure she was, maybe not devastated, but really sad about it.
Yeah.
And so, like, her, and there's probably a bunch of people in the Bay Area who their favorite player is Klay Thompson now, who can actually afford to go to the game, won't go anymore. You know what I mean? Like, losing a player like that, losing a big player of your big three, losing a legend who the Warriors said they're going to retire his number.
Yep.
Which is
I knew that was going to happen.
He's going to have a statue.
Yeah.
He's going to have his number retired. It's, I have no problem with that at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the Warriors, like, man, like what's last year? What's next year going to look like? On the court and around you.
I'm not expecting them to even make it to the play-in.
No.
As currently constructed.
Yeah.
There's potential moves that could be made that we'll mention in a little bit, but I don't see it with this roster.
And
it's just like
it just kind of seemed like foreshadowing the way. And I'm honestly not even trying to rub it in, but how he performed against the Kings in the play-in game, and how things are like now.
Yeah.
It just kind of seemed like should we have felt like at the time that we like
already seen it,
like we saw it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's tough. And I think, too, like, you just saw the frustration he showed at times during the season, the inconsistency that was, kind of new. Like, I think the Warriors fans and the fan base had given him a little bit of a pass over the previous couple of years because he was coming off an injury.
Yeah.
But this year, it was like, okay, you have to be back now. We can't make any more excuses for you. And he just wasn't, you just could tell he wasn't quite himself. Still a good player. You look at the raw numbers. He still shot like 39% from three. That's well above average in the NBA.
Yeah.
Scored almost 18 points a game. So it's a guy that can still be an effective player for you. I think the Warriors they really wanted to convince him to take a lesser role, and he just was not having that.
Yeah. we'll see what happens with the Mavericks. I mean, obviously, like you're saying with Steph, he wants another crack at it,
Right.
And I think he probably thought, wow, they got Kyrie, they have Luka, who's arguably one of the better players in the league.
I mean, the team just went to the finals, so like that's got to be juicy.
Yeah, of course.
For
okay.
play. I didn't really like the Mavs weren't really on my radar for him. I do think it's a good fit.
Because people were saying Lakers because his dad.
Lakers were an
played
obvious,
there. He's an announcer for them or
Yeah.
a broadcaster for them.
Some teams brought up Philly. Of course, they've got Paul George, which I'm sure they're very happy about anyways.
Yeah.
Orlando was like an early one, but then kind of debunked that report. Someone mentioned OKC at one point, and I don't think it was ever like they were in on him, but I thought that could have been an interesting fit as well.
The biggest names left on the market, DeMar DeRozan, free agent, and then Lauri Markkanen, trade candidate.
Yep.
I've heard a lot about the Warriors and Lauri Markkanen.
Right. I think he's an interesting player. He's still pretty young. He's kind of like a Porzingis type, player, if you will, as far as skill set goes. Can shoot the ball from the outside for a 7-footer.
Yeah, we'll see.
Relatively athletic. I think he's more athletic than Porzingis and a better shooter, but less of a factor on defense and inside.
Yeah.
But I think he would be a fit. I think they would have to actually contend this year. They'd have to get both these guys. But I still don't even think they would be.
Wow.
They wouldn't even be
Okay.
a legitimate championship.
Well, because Paul George was on the radar. Supposedly
they
for the Warriors.
supposedly made some trade offers for him.
Would you have felt any different if Paul George was on the team?
I'd be excited about the fact that they made a splash, but I don't know that Steph, because like I think Kuminga would have had to have been involved in the trade.
Yeah.
So you're minusing him, and then I don't know if Paul George, Draymond, and Steph is. It's not really convincing me that that's going to be a championship team.
Yeah. I also want to mention CP3 is going to the Spurs.
Yes.
It's kind of funny, but him with Wemby, I think Wemby can learn a lot from him being a veteran, and we'll see a lot of lobs. I'm sure, to the,
Yeah. I think that's a good fit from the veteran kind of teaching a young team, some tricks. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be Greg Popovich being the one that does all the talking. I think that's a good fit.
Yeah.
For both sides.
Did I mention, or did this happen after our last episode, that Malik Monk signed 4 years?
I can't remember if we did, but yeah, he's back with the Kings.
Yeah, 4 years, $78 million deal. Yeah. And, I've talked a lot of shit, but...
He's got some swagger to his game that the Kings like.
Yeah. And Domantas Sabonis is going to change his number from 10 to 11.
What spurred that?
Well, apparently...
Was dad number 11?
Yes, his dad was number 11. That's why he's doing it. But I don't know if he was able to do it because it is retired by the Kings.
Oh.
I forget who it was, but some guy who played for the Royals back in the day. But I guess the family of that guy, because I think he's passed away, gave Sabonis their blessing, and so he's wearing number 11.
But that guy never even wore a Kings jersey. He wore a Royals uniform.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, I feel like that's an easy one to...
Yeah, I mean,
I know it's the same franchise.
Yeah, it is, but... So that's cool. That's cool, because his dad was number 11, so... So now, Deb, if you want to get a jersey, good thing you get a 10 jersey.
That's funny. Also, the Thunder got, what's his face from the Knicks? The big guy, Hartenstein.
Yeah, Sal's happy about that.
They give him a lot of money, but that's a good pickup. Jason Tatum got the fattest extension ever. $300 million.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Champion.
Yep. Derek White also got fat money from the Celtics. And the Celtics, you know what's funny? The Celtics are handing out all these contracts while they're in the middle of a sale. Their owners are selling the team.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Apparently they bought the team for like $300-ish million and they're selling for $5 billion.
Oh, yeah, I'm surprised.
That's fucking wild.
I mean, it's the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
I think they're
a huge brand and they just won.
Alone. I think alone, just the logo alone is worth $5 billion. You know what I mean? Like it's
the leprechaun.
It's the Boston Celtics.
Yeah. Lucky the leprechaun. Yeah, fucking weird offseason. Not a lot of huge names out there.
No.
Technically the Browns are free agent, but we know he's going back to the Lakers.
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
If he just dipped.
If they draft his son and he leaves.
Yeah. And they sign JJ Redick.
That'd be weird. Yeah. So LeBron's going to end his career with the Lakers.
Pretty much.
Which It's how it should be, because I've said it before, I hate to see big name guys. You know, because CP3 is looking like Shaq now with like the rainbow colored jerseys. You know, like he can like make the rainbow with all the jerseys he played for. But even LeBron playing for 3 different teams, or 3, 2 different stints with one team. But it was just kind of like jumped around too much. But I know it's a different game. Like, you know, not everybody can be Dirk, Kobe,
Kevin Durant's been doing it too.
Tim Duncan. You know, those are kind of few and far between now. Like Steph Curry to me is gonna be one of those guys.
I hope.
I do too. I really do too. That guy's, you know, he's caused a lot of pain in my heart. But I don't need him to play for the Hornets.
Yeah, no, that would be dumb, unless the Hornets were a contender when he's like 39 years old.
Yeah,
you know.
But just because like his dad played there, you know what I mean? Like that's the only way I can.
And that's
see
where
that.
he's like from too. Yeah. That's where he grew up.
So I don't think it's dumb from me. I guess from like trying to win aspect, it could be dumb, but like for sentimental value, I don't think it's that dumb.
Right. All right, moving on to the other news, hockey news. Sharks, our boys, we knew they had the number 1 pick. We knew who they were picking, but it's official. Macklin Celebrini is the San Jose Shark.
They did it in the Sphere.
The Sphere was pretty wild, gotta say.
And when Joe Thornton came up, some guy was just screaming,
"Go Sharks!" That guy was all it up.
That was awesome.
They also moved up to the 11th spot and drafted defenseman Sam Dickinson. So getting a little offense, a little defense.
2 picks in the top 11.
That's pretty smooth.
I like that.
Apparently, this guy fell a little bit to them, so like they kind of got a steal in a way.
Take that.
Speaking of Joe Thornton, he's going to have number 19 retired by the Sharks on November 23rd.
It's about time.
We kind of knew this was going to be the next guy.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure when it was going to happen.
Pavelski will be soon.
Pavelski,
a couple years.
Yeah, they probably won't do it in the next season, but maybe the year after that. I could see.
Well deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. And also former Shark Jeremy Roenick only played 2 years at the very end of his career with the Sharks, but he was elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Okay.
American-born player as well.
Love that.
Scored his 500th career goal with the Sharks, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Danny has that like souvenir puck.
Does he?
That says 500 goals. This is for Jeremy Roenick.
Was he there?
No, I don't think so. He just had, I don't think it's not like a real puck or anything.
But I know Gare has a couple pucks that are like the sign too, but like have like whatever goal for some guy.
Yeah, unless it was him, I'm pretty sure it was Danny.
You probably. I mean, I know Danny has some too.
Yeah, I think it was Danny. Nathan McKinnon won the Hart Trophy for NHL MVP. Well deserved. Kind of one of those guys that was on the cusp of winning this.
Avalanche.
From the Avalanche for the last probably 5 years. Finally got it.
Is he already Hall of Fame worthy? Being a Stanley Cup champion and having a Hart Trophy?
He's right there. I mean, he's not McDavid as far as like the extreme skill, but he's legit for sure.
But I'll tell you this, McDavid would kill to have that Stanley Cup.
For sure. No question about it. Also, longtime captain of the Tampa Bay Lightning, Steven Stamkos, is going to move on from Tampa.
Okay.
And he's signed with the Nashville Predators. Kind of crazy.
I don't understand why it's crazy, but I'll take your word for it.
I mean, it's like if Steph Curry left the Warriors this year. Like, he was a free agent and was like, you know what?
So he's been with the Lightning for that long?
He's going to be 35 this year.
Okay.
And he's been there since, like, 2007.
He won a couple championships.
He won two cups in recent history.
All right. That makes
sense. And he's got, like, 7 40-goal seasons in his career or something like that.
So he's a Hall of Fame.
He's definitely a Hall of Fame.
Okay, gotcha.
It's going to be weird to see him in a different uniform.
Gotcha.
But yeah, definitely a legend. The Euros are underway. Their round of 16 wrapped up today. Quarterfinal matchups are going to be Spain versus Germany, which is going to be a fucking banger. Portugal France was going to be a great game as well. Yeah. England's going to
be Mbappe with the fucking the Batman mask.
The Ninja Turtle mask.
Yeah. Looks ridiculous.
England's going to be against Switzerland. And then Netherlands versus Turkey.
Okay.
There's a lot of big matchups there. Spain-Germany is going to be a good one. And it's in Germany. It's going to be fun.
I think I'm pulling for the Netherlands for Devin.
There you go. She is Deutsch, isn't she?
She was there for a year.
Some kind of like connection,
family connection. Yeah. I don't think she's Dutch, but she has.
I love to see England, do something, but they just don't look good. They're lucky to be here.
Yeah,
that way. Over in the Copa America, not so good for our United States team. Group stage wraps up this evening. United States and Mexico already eliminated. They're just they're a wreck. the soccer glove.
We have, as Americans, just come to the realistic conclusion that the United States is never going to be the best at any kind of soccer.
Probably not.
They're just not.
Yeah.
It's just, and that's, that's okay.
Our best athletes obviously don't play soccer.
Yeah.
And that's a factor. But are we going to pretend like LeBron would be a great soccer player?
Well, yeah, I'm also not going to, I've probably said that too about, when I think about it, I'm not going to disrespect soccer like that.
Right.
I'm not going to say like, throw a Steph Curry, LeBron.
Yeah.
Like.
Giannis. I guess Giannis is
Michael
American,
Phelps.
But guys like
to play
that.
soccer, right,
Right.
that kind of thing. Like, it's just not. That would be disrespecting soccer.
Right.
Do I think if they played that game since they were like 4?
Yeah, like born into like the soccer.
Do I think it could
culture.
help? Do I think it would help? Absolutely.
Which maybe
But
this
it
is
wouldn't
the start of it.
Wouldn't be a foregone conclusion though.
Yeah. Now, soccer in the United States, even like not talking about MLS, but just like the popularity of the sport, people being interested in the Premier Leagues and Champions League and all that, it's definitely at the highest it's ever been. So I think that could help, younger kids get into soccer. But I just don't know with all the other bigger sports that make so much money, in the United States, it's going to be hard for Americans to ever view soccer as an elite sport in this country.
Yeah, and also I'm gonna reword what I said because I know somebody who would give me shit for it if I didn't. The United States men are never going to be the best at soccer.
Good job.
Thank you. Because the United States women we know is very, very good and has been very
good.
And
they expect to win every time.
Yes, exactly. I'm talking about the United States men.
Yeah.
And I also think Devin is Dutch a little bit. I think she has family there. If she has family,
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought there was some kind of family connection to.
I'm just totally backtracking right now, but it's all good. It's all good.
I'm glad you corrected yourself.
The United States men.
Yeah. We
cannot expect them to be the best at soccer ever.
She's still going to text us.
Absolutely.
But at least you corrected yourself.
Thank you. I feel a lot better about myself.
And Giannis, I did say he's not American, Devin. Joel Embiid is apparently. He's going to play for Team USA in the Olympics.
Yeah, something like that.
Any other news coming out of your mouth?
I wanted to give Al Horford I want to give him his kudos, his flowers.
Yeah.
He finally won a championship.
And well deserved for him. Like, he was a big part of that team.
Yeah, so
don't let that go overlooked.
I'll never forget Game 1 Al Horford, the finals in 2022, because he was a force.
I'll forget it.
I know you will. But
I didn't even know what happened.
He had a huge game.
No, I'm kidding.
And they won game 1.
I know.
Yeah. But yeah, congrats to Al Horford.
Yeah, you got that right.
I'm glad I got that out of there. And that's it besides what I have for last call.
Here it is.
That was easy.
Should I do it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
Oh my god. They stink. Hate that team.
You got anything fun?
I do. The Anaheim Ducks. I know they're not a fan of yours. You're not a fan of them. Not a fan of yours, vice versa. But they went back to their Mighty Ducks logo, and I think it was the best move they could have done.
Smart move.
And I think the jerseys, even that weird burnt orange, I think the white and both jerseys that they have, white, orange, they look good.
I think they could have adjusted the color scheme personally, but I do like the logo.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
Devin wants a jersey.
Won't be friends with me.
Well, she loves the Knights. She loves the Ducks. It's like anything but the Sharks. Right?
Also, the Kings returned to their 1990s look as well. So
it does look pretty clean.
Good on them.
They adjusted it a little bit, but it looks essentially the same.
Yeah.
Also, this beer, this was good.
That was a good one. That's probably... I liked it better than the previous.
I think it is.
Personally. Is that one done?
Yeah.
You want to try this funky one?
Crack with the funky one?
It could be ass. Could be really good.
Okay, yeah, try it out. It's last call, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Ducks. I've never seen the Mighty Ducks, the movie.
I've tripped over it on Disney Channel probably in my lifetime, but never sat down and watched it.
Emilio Estevez, whose brother is
Charlie Sheen.
There you go.
Who shares a birthday with me?
Emilio Estevez or Charlie Sheen?
Charlie Sheen.
Winning.
Yeah, Sheen.
Emilio Estevez, Breakfast Club.
Yep.
Haven't seen it, should. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
But I feel like everyone's seen Breakfast Club, right?
It's a great movie. It's a classic.
Nick Warren likes to talk shit about it. Probably only because his dad likes to talk shit about it, so you know.
Is that where it started from?
If you were to ask me, yeah.
I just remember Nick saying it wasn't that good. It's like out of nowhere. I'm like, you're tripping, dog.
But I think I've also heard Scott before that say that.
I have not, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Well, I think he said it's overrated.
Okay.
Which
maybe it is.
I grew up on it. So
a lot of things that are really popular are probably overrated.
Yeah.
If we're being honest.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction, though, not overrated.
Happy Gilmore, not overrated. This kind of tastes like a
cider. It doesn't taste like beer.
It tastes like a sour with less carbonation.
Yeah, it's like between like a cider and a sour for me. Kind of getting like that champagne taste at the end.
Does it taste flat? No. What is this? Did we even say what this was?
Tiki Time.
Tiki Time.
Wheat ale or something like that.
Tropical wheat with passion fruit, orange, and guava. This is also from Cali Craft Brewing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't ever
No.
order this.
If I ordered this on a whim, I would be disappointed.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we have it right now.
Right?
You know, it's all good.
Yeah.
That's all I have for last call.
The Tennessee men's baseball team won College World Series, their first in school history.
Danny.
Yeah. Go Vols.
Alumni.
Go Vols. I was rooting for Texas A&M, but, you know, this is what it is.
Johnny Manziel, baby.
Yeah. The money team. Also, NASCAR is going to return to the Chicago Street Race for the second time this year. See if Shane Van Gisbergen can repeat.
How the standings looking in NASCAR?
Do we have to?
Oh man, we're at like halfway point, right? And am I looking good so far?
We're a touch beyond the halfway point.
Okay, even better.
You have 50 points, sitting in first place. Devin reclaimed second place with 40. Dylan and I are tied with 39.
Look at Dylan. Dilly? Yeah. Okay.
He's got two solid guys. I mean, Tyler Reddick having a nice season.
Yeah. I got to give it to Brad Keselowski. He's been racing a lot better than I thought he would.
Yeah, he has, for sure. That is definitely found money.
Yeah.
Honestly, everyone except for Danny.
Yeah. Sorry.
Is Danny. doing all right. You know, we got a pretty well balanced group here.
Yeah, for your point system.
Yeah.
Kyle Busch has 3. Alex Bowman has 4. That's tough, dude.
Toughness.
That is tough.
What are you gonna do?
You know, hey, at least Tennessee won, Danny.
Yeah, right.
At least Tennessee won.
You can hang your hat on that.
Hang your hat on that, no doubt about it.
Okay.
Happy 4th of July.
Yeah, happy 4th of July for sure. We probably won't. You won't be hearing from us for a little while, except for maybe on the Instagram.
Yeah.
I promise I'm gonna get our NASCAR interview video out there.
Oh, no worries.
Soon.
Yeah.
Just haven't really had any time to put it together, but
hey, it's all good.
I will do that, and hopefully you guys enjoy.
Probably Olympic episode. We'll have to figure out when they start, because maybe we try to get in before that if possible.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking, and we also have a bachelor party the first week of August. Can't wait for that.
Dude, it's over.
Yeah, we got a lot going on.
Yeah.
And of course,
we'll get an episode in before August.
Right? Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe?
We'll see how it works out. Because I know the Olympics start like the 26th.
Yeah.
That's like the ceremonies, I think.
Okay.
So we'll have to figure it out. But anyways, yeah, we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Thanks for celebrating 4 years with us. And
yes, we appreciate you. We always appreciate you. Without you, there'd be no us.
Another fun year in the books, man.
In the podcast, yes.
And look for us on social media. We'll be hopefully doing some fun stuff.
Yes.
Thank you all. We'll see you next time. Peace.